to reach our hands for the ceiling. Add a little back bend if that's okay for your back. And if not, don't go any further than is comfortable. Let the back soften, round down, reach for the floor, exhale. So we're going to roll up and down and repeat a few times just to find out how the back is today. And just to find out, how the legs and the hips are working together. Exhale down, dropping the head at the bottom, rolling up through all of the joints, coming to the top, and roll down again. Get a little bit looser here, step your feet out. If you need support for your legs or hips, hands on your knees or elbows on your thighs. If you're pretty comfortable here and you want to reach down further, be my guest. We're going to rock into the hips. And there's two ways to do this. One is with that straight leg rocking from side to side. And one is bending one knee and then bending the other. And feeling, now again, doesn't matter where your hands are, find your comfort level. You're going to rock from side to side. Oh, good stuff. Roll up from there. You're going to reach for the ceiling again. And bring your hands together down in prayer. Beautiful. So we're going to take to the floor from here. Bring yourself down. Easy does it. Knees down, hands down. Coming through cats and cows. It's such a simple move, but it's so effective in mobilizing and finding layers in your spine and hip that might need more help mobilizing. So what we're going to balance today is our range of motion with our strength. Just about every move you do in yoga can have both those aspects. And if you're a very flexible person, we tend to focus on our easy stuff, our flexibility. If you're a very strong person, we tend to rely on our strength and kind of skip the flexibility. Let's step through with one leg, coming into half kneeling. And this is such a good base posture for so many balance moves, but also for increasing the mobility of this hip through the front, through the side, through the back. And we do need to recognize that there is some strength going on here side to side. As you tip one hip up and down, and your kneeling hip moves out and in. Try that a couple of times just to see if you've got some range through there. Now we're going to come down to the floor a little bit further. So leaning in, and if you can't quite reach the floor, blocks would work, big books would work. We're going to sink into this. Now, normally you'll hear me say, make sure this ankle doesn't get ahead of your knee. It's a little bit different when you're down on the floor and you don't have all your full weight on there. If it's tucked behind a little bit, that's okay. Modify for where you need to be today. I like to add this deep forward fold here and coming forward and backward. Let's put them together. So we're going to lunge forward, inhale, eyes up. And extend that leg, move the hips backwards into a fold, eyes down, head down. Inhaling up. Exhale down. Once more, both of those. Good, bend that knee and come right into child's pose from here. Sitting back, seat toward the heels. If available in your shoulders, walk your hands forward. And trying to lower your torso towards the floor. We're going to rock right and left through the shoulders. And lower ourselves right down. When you're coming up, let's come through cats and cows again. Up onto your hands and knees. And again, same movement, but we're going to apply some strength as you tuck your tail, tuck your head, and put some strength in that front line. And as you reach back, inhale and squeeze the shoulder blades down. Pull your tail towards your head and go the other way. Exhale, squeeze, Tuck tail in, draw your chin in, and come the other way and lengthen. Good stuff. Step up with this other knee, coming into your opposite half kneeling position. And we're going to try both, the side to side movement and the forward and back movement. Hands on the knee for balance. You're trying to lift this hip towards the ceiling and then drop this hip towards the floor. Feels funny at first when you do it if it's not part of your regular movement. Try that a couple of times. Now we're going to shift forward and back. So reach down, let yourself down, down, down. And we're thinking about bringing this part of our hip down towards the floor. It does lengthen the stride quite a bit, but that's a good place to work from. If you've been sitting a lot more lately, you'll find that that back hip, a little long, might feel tight in there. Good. Let's come the other way. Drop in the head if that's available. Breathe forward. You can even lift the eyes and inhale here. And exhale forward. Or sorry, exhale hips back. Inhale forward. And exhale back. Once more. And both knees down. So you have two options here. Child's pose again, where you sink right back, moving your sit bones towards your heels. The options for your arms are way out and head, or your forearms to your forehead, or even reaching down, hands for toes, sides of the feet, drop your forehead towards the floor. Take a few breaths there. Now your other option I didn't get to yet is moving into downward dog. So we're going to put our hands just up here where we usually do. Your wrists are underneath your shoulders. Tuck your toes under and take yourself up. Wardrobe issue. Good. We're going to send our heels back towards the floor and our hips towards the ceiling. Same time, let's drop the head and neck. Breathe back and forth a couple of times. Measure a good distance for you. Ideally, your arms are reaching up alongside your ears as you let your head and neck go heavy. If you're feeling any strain in the back here, because it's too tight in your hamstrings, leave your knees unlocked. Press your sit bones back. And I want you to really avoid doing any sort of back bend here. Good. Come down again. Drop your hands and knees. Good. Child's pose again. Drop in. This time we're going to walk the hands to one side of the mat. I'm going to reach right and feel that great stretch all the way up the outside of my left shoulder. And switch to the other side as I reach left. Feeling the stretch in my right shoulder. And even though your breath is a little bit crowded in that position, that's okay. Just keep breathing with it. It makes more room. Back to downward dog and drop the head. This time we're looking for some stability in our shoulders. Shift your weight, right shoulder, left shoulder. And you don't even have to take your hand off the floor to increase the strength and stability there. You can just shift your weight right and left. If that causes any pain in your shoulder, it might not be the work for you today. Good. Press back one more time. And thinking about getting those heels to reach back, you can bend the knees. Exhale, press back. Bend the knees. Exhale, press back last time. Good. Let's release. Walk your feet towards your hands. Roll yourself up from that forward fold position. Getting to the top. Oh, unroll those shoulders. Good stuff. All right, come into a wider stance here. And without bending the knees too much, just give the hip a shift, right and left. Find your mobility.
And if you've got your feet too far out and you can't shift right and left like this, bring them in some so that you've got good control here. And let's take a look. Have you got more movement in one side than you do on the other? That's pretty normal, but something to work with. Good. Turning the toes and the knees out a little bit, we're going to sink down and up, charging the strength in the legs. And you might find it more coming from the top of your legs than you do from the back and the bottom. I want your seat to get involved. So let's breathe to the top. Good. When you get to the top, squeeze your glutes. Elbows out, 90-90. Good. Leave your glutes engaged and dig into your heels a little. Good. Coming up and down from there. And you might not be able to get as low without using your quads as you normally do, or the fronts of your thighs. This might be a little bit more challenging if you don't usually engage your hip muscles, your glute muscles. Hamstrings are involved. Good. Let's try a couple more without all the chatter. Dropping down. Good. Breathe your way up. And hold. Dropping the hands. Hinge forward, so reorganize your toes. Let yourself come down. Bend your knees at the bottom. Roll all the way up. And turn to face one end of your mat. Let's come into a warrior one here. We're going to play with that lunge again. So this is going to open your back hip. This is a nice way to start and charge the power in that forward leg and ask for the length in the back hip. So drift that foot down into the floor as you're squeezing that foot down. Good. Turn your body to face forward, hands in prayer. Good. Now let's pay attention to this front leg and square it up. And without moving your hips, rotate your body. And come back the other way. Open. Good. Rotate again through the torso, then the shoulder, then the head and neck. Open again. One more for this side. And open again. Good. Drop that back hand. We're going to reach up. And bring everything to that front knee. Drop that knee to the floor. Once more, we're down in a low lunge. Rocking forward and back. Nice to bring your eyes up when you come to this end of the mat. And bow your head when you sit back. Take them both out into child's pose or downward dog, your choice. Paying attention to that strength of the forward body. So if you're sitting back in child's pose, you're pushing your hands down into the floor. You might feel your core engage. Your shoulders for sure. If you're doing it through downward dog, same. You're trying to keep your abs and your core engaged, even though you're upside down. Good. So I'm going to come forward from downward dog into a plank. If you're in child's pose, come forward into a partial or a half plank. And we're trying to keep our shoulders over our wrists, not too far ahead. Little rock, right and left. Waking up the power of the front of the body. Little rock, right and left. Good, eyes on the mat, neck nice and straight. Good, drop knees. Child's pose again, sink back. We're going to bring us up, and we're going to step forward on that other leg. So now you're in warrior one, just on your opposite leg. Same as we began before, just measure your stride and check and see what's going on in this pelvis. Does it tend to tip really far forward? Your goal, your mission, I'm going to get you to work on that, is to drop the tail underneath of you a little bit more while trying to keep the pelvis facing forward. So if you think about where your belly button is it tipping down and pointing at the floor, or can you point straight in front of you? And this is something that is always going to be part of our Warrior One practice, trying to keep that back hip from dumping the rest of the hip forward. Good stuff. Let's take the arms up. Good. Bring the hands into prayer. Now we're going to turn towards this side. Squeeze through the waist, then the shoulder, then the neck. Good. Breathe open. Inhale. As you exhale, come into the twist. Don't forget to squeeze your hip, squeeze your glutes. They're keeping you there. Inhale, open, beautiful. Last time. Beautiful. Hands come down, come up off that last foot. Give yourself a push forward. Oh, and let things round and release. Beautiful. Stepping open on your mat again. And this time we're going to turn the toes in just a little bit. Drop down and come back up. So you'll notice you can't quite get as far. As you're pushing your knees ahead of the ankles, that's about it. It's a good stretch sometimes right up the side of the calf. Good. Now notice the difference turning toes and knees out, and they're going to travel in the same direction. So have a peek, making sure that your knees are tracking in the same direction your toes are facing. Alrighty, where does your breath fit? Some people like to inhale up and exhale down. Some people do it the other way around. At this point, I don't care, just keep breathing. Let's add the arms. As you come out, squeeze your shoulder blades back and down. And now turn on your core. Great stuff. A little tip pop from side to side. That messes with things. It's not centered in the middle anymore. And you're asking right side and then left side to get stronger and hold at the base. Beautiful. To the top. Let's go. And leave that arm nice and high, reaching out of your waist, increasing the space between ribs and hips. Your bottom hand can be holding the leg, or it can be dangling. Good. Breathe your way up. 2 hands overhead. Now this arm up high, reaching. Bottom hand either holding the leg or hanging. Turn those core muscles on to keep you there. Reach up. And just for giggles, let's go again, both sides. Now, if when you're looking up, that gives your neck any issues, you can always turn. Look down at the foot on the floor or look at the camera. Beautiful. Hands come together, down through prayer. So we're going to lunge from side to side without the help of our arms. Leave them right here. And I want you to find more core strength here. Kind of squeeze everything in. So you're squeezing your elbows down, you're squeezing your shoulder blades down, all while your legs carry on their work. Focus here. Feel how deep you are. If you have any knee issues and they say, oh, we're not doing that, don't. You can modify, you can come to center and bend a little and come to center, bend a little, or you could not do that move at all and just stay stationary, toe turned out. We're going to Warrior 2 eventually, so finish a few more here. Yeah, don't stop just because I stopped. Beautiful. Fly up. Exhale forward, a long back. If you need something to reach the floor, like a small stool,
You can set it right here in front of you. Try not to look up with your head here. We can add to this by walking hands forward and rocking hips forward and back. Picture yourself moving into a very wide-angled downward dog position, or just a very deep forward fold in a wide angle. Good. If you want to move further into that, you can walk your hands even more forward, and basically you're moving from downward dog to plank in a wide position. But for the rest of us, we're going to work our way up easily, carefully. You can use your hands to come up, or you can roll and reach. Beautiful. So, Warrior 2. I like Warrior 2. Tells me all kinds of things. In a beautiful book somewhere, you'll see their front leg is level with the floor. Well, that works great if the hip is happy and the knee is happy. If it's something you're developing, take your time, be patient. Our other goal is to keep the rest of the body open to the side edge of the mat. So let's let the arms be our lead. You're going to look over your forward hand. And if you want to move in and out of this, from that high position to that low lunge, strong position. Let's find where your breath fits really well here. Some people like to exhale up when it's hard. Inhale. Now in your next one, I'm going to ask you to stay there for 3 breaths. Good. Even wider through the shoulders. Even stronger through both legs as you push down to the floor evenly, right and left. Let that back hip open up. Let your breath come in and out. Breathe out. Switch sides. Now as you switch to your other leg, there may be a difference in mobility or strength. That's okay. We're working on it. That's why we're using them both. And one of these days I'm going to remember to go to my non-dominant side first. It's not something I typically do. So let's roll the shoulders open. Leave that front toe pointing right off the mat and leave that knee at the same angle. Arms are out, shoulder high. And your gaze is over your long center finger. Sinking in, breathe. Still trying to square up the torso and stay strong in both legs, both arms, and both shoulders. Beautiful. Drop the hands. Come to center. Let's rotate the feet in. Walk your heels in. Walk your feet in. We're going to rock a little from side to side. So we're going to take some of that down onto the floor. One of the most common causes of weakness and injury in the hips is your ability to move your leg out to the side and how strong that can stay. So before we go to the floor, a simple demonstration of that in a 5-pointed stance, or 5-pointed star you'll hear called. Let's do one little balance move just for that here today. Good. Unlock the knee that you're standing on. That'll give you a little bit of play. Other side. And again, you may notice one side has a lot more help than the other. Unlock the knee you're standing on. And bring those down together. We're going to take ourselves down to the floor. So, in your own way, bring yourself down to the mat. We're going to be laying on our side. So I can only do one side right now, so I'm going to show you on my comfy side, and then you're going to switch sides. So I'm going to stay on my right side here. We're just going to roll up onto our edge and give this a nice passive stretch. Tuck your elbow in underneath of you. Good. So lifting that leg up from there.
requires just the hip muscles in here. Lifting your body off the floor with your bottom leg. Here's the secret. Bring that knee in, bent. You're gonna lift this hip up off the floor and balance on your elbow. You can leave your bottom foot down if you like. Head position is up to you. We're gonna try this a couple of times, so don't get too stuck in one version. Bring that down. You wanna feel that stretch, take the legs long again. Pushing some weight down in the shoulder. Good. Because being way up in here won't stretch your side too much, but this might. Good. Bend that bottom knee again. So I'm gonna help my hip get up off the floor. I use my front hand and my elbow on the floor to lift, and then spread the arms out wide. If that top leg is available, lift. Good, back down. And to release from there, bring both knees up. Lay down on the floor, hands out in front. And we're gonna roll this top arm. Reach back behind you, watch out for the fireplace. Rolling open. And closed. Alrighty. So roll over on your mat facing the other way, or just switch ends like I'm going to. This side I'm going to do a very modified version. And just see how the stretch on this hip is. Nope, not so much. So I'm going to lay right down. And you can stretch that hip from an even lower position. So you can have these legs stacked or not. And if you don't have a lot of range through there, come up very slowly. Check that top leg. Good. Still breathing. Thinking about, can you lengthen your back some more? Can you open up that side that's closest to the floor some more? Good. Now we can lift that bottom hip up off the floor. Well, you can. I'm going to stay here down on the floor just to give it a gentle stretch. I can even bring that front knee forward. So you can see that bottom knee. I can bend the knee. Good. If you're doing the other version, lift your hip up off the floor. You can try and float your top leg again. Get my shoulders out of my ears. Good. Let's bring everything back down to the floor. Good. Find our trusty twist. Knees are going to stay together. Good. Rolling open. Follow that back arm. Let's reach out and hang out here with the breath. Turning over onto your back. Bring those knees in. Find a good spot for your ponytail. There we go. Okay, just to check in with the hip here, you can leave your bottom leg straight or bent. Knee rolling around. Find that big arc there. Good, and holding that knee towards your chest. I'm going to bring the head up off the floor. Reach down for that foot. Extend that leg. Bring the knee in. Unwind the whole move. Come on back down. If that gives you any neck issues, we know we have some work to do there. Again, flexibility versus mobility and strength. Checking the ankle. Let's try that again. You're going to use your whole core. I know I snuck that in, aren't I mean? You're going to use your whole core. So press your low back towards the floor and feel your tail turn up just a little bit.
Leave that long leg down on the mat if you can. Bring yourself up. Tuck your chin just a bit more. Good, reach for your foot. And if you can't let go of your leg and this is still lots of work for you, that's a great place to be. If you can extend that leg up. Come on down. We're going to unwind the head, neck, and hips. So let's bend both knees. Press your palms down into the floor. Tuck your chin a little. As you press the back of your head towards the mat, turn your head from side to side. Good. Going to get even stronger in the shoulders, pushing hands down towards the floor. Side to side. Good. Bring that chin to center. Walk your heels up towards your seat. And notice thigh bones are parallel here. You're going to try and keep them that way as you roll your hips up off the floor to open that front line. And here's what I want you to notice. Where is your strength coming from? Are you pushing into your heels or your toes? Roll up one vertebrae at a time. And down. Rolling up. If you want to check it out, come all the way to your toes. See what happens there. Then come to your heels. And toes. And heels. Beautiful. Roll down. Both knees to your chest. Modifying where you're at. Take that first leg and lay it down on the mat. This knee can find its way from side to side. We're checking in. See what that range is, right to left. And if you use your hands to hold your leg, the muscles along the inside and outside of the thigh aren't as active. So you're going to get a better idea of what your non-active range is like. If you did it without muscles, you would find you might not get as far because the muscles have to shorten up to hold position. So that's a good way to find your deeper range. Take a big inhale, exhale, knee to chest. Good, tuck your tail just a smidge more. Bring your head up. As if you're trying to bring your knee towards your forehead. If that cramps your foot, just flick your toe the other way. Lengthen that leg as far as it will go. Come on down. Hello, belly. Feel those abs doing their job? Good. Tuck your tail just a little bit. Lengthen that leg down onto the floor. Bring yourself up. Reach down. Lengthen that leg. Reach that for the ceiling, either toe or heel. I can assure you, pushing the heel higher is a little bit deeper. Knee coming in, back down. If you need to undo any tension at the front of your neck or find a stretch, you're right there. Turn your head from side to side. Push down as you do it, and that'll unlock the muscles at the front. Or they might just need a good stretch too. One more, here we go. Exhale, knee to chest. Tuck your tail, head comes up. Good. Reach for that foot. Lengthen that leg. And that leg might not get straight up. It might be bent at the knee. It's all good. Bring yourself back down, both knees to your chest. Side to side, play with the hip. Good. If it's your neck that's talking to you, roll there. Better yet, do them all. Set your feet on the floor. Rock from side to side. If you've seen any of my classes or videos, you know this is my fix it for everything. I like this one. It lengthens the hip. It helps rotation in the leg and upper hip here. It also gets into my back. If you take the arms out into it, then you can even make that connection from hip to shoulder, whether it be across the front of the body. If you can picture an X across the front and across the back of the body, those are the two layers you're pulling on. At the very least. And if it's more available, there you go. Take your arms overhead. Rock the knees again. Good. Hands coming down. Didn't do a lot with the arms today, did we? Let's give them a good hug. This is a great way to get in between your shoulder blades. I know we said it was a hip and back class, but I'm pretty sure your arms are connected to everything. Good. Open big and set your elbows on the floor. So your upper arms are lined up with your shoulder here. And you're gonna roll the hands down and roll the hands back. And if you can't reach either one, don't you worry. There's lots of chances to develop that. We want to be comfortable here though. If there's any pain, this is not your posture for sure. So we're going to bring into some of this, some groundedness in the hips and the feet. So push down through your whole foot. Good. Roll the hands open the other way. Push your low back down in towards the floor. Trying to get the tops of the hands to reach the mat. Push your forearms towards the floor. And notice what else is changing in the torso. Try not to arch your back to get there. Turning them down and turning them up. Good stuff. Let's take the hands down by your sides, rolling them in and out or loosening the shoulders or back to that hug position. Nice. Hug the other way. So we can do our eagle down here on the floor. If on the floor is not your favorite, you can come up to a standing position and put eagle together up there too. So we're going to cross one leg over the other. Now, I want you to be able to bring these knees to your chest, so let's practice that first. Hands down on the floor. This is cheating, by the way, because you're using your shoulder muscles to move your legs. Exhale, tuck your tail. Head and shoulders coming up off the floor. Now, if your back tells you that's just the crazy idea, just use one knee, top knee. Just as we did earlier. If you're okay with both knees. Gorgeous. Okay, leave the legs right where they are. Let's get the arms set. So whatever knee is on the top is the arm that's on the bottom, as if your elbow and knee could connect. Give yourself a big hug. Good, and fold the arms up. There's your eagle arms, and down. Folding them up, and down, and up again. Good. See if you can bring elbow towards knee. If you're nursing a back or a hip injury right now, go slow, just bring a little bit together. If you're okay to lift here, just see if they'll come together. Come back down. Big inhale, big exhale up. And come back down. And in some cases, laying on your back here, you can't reach your bind or you can't get the arms to come as close as they do when you're standing. That's okay. Come on back down, hands down, legs down. Good. I like to take my arms out from there. Rock the knees again. Turning your head in the opposite direction of your knees. You might even notice that twist all the way up through the spine and into the neck. Now let's cross that other leg over. Good. And the arms will cross over the other way. So now this elbow can reach this knee. I'm going to take the other arm on top. Good. Get that set up. Oh yeah, we did a warm up, didn't we? Hands down. Almost snuck that in. Good. Send your low back towards the floor. If that part you can't do, that's something you need to practice every day, laying in bed or just sitting here on the floor like this after class is done. Press your low back towards the floor and exhale as if you're trying to lift your upper chest. That is a very deep, intrinsic stabilizer that we're activating there. And if yours doesn't fire when you ask it to, it needs practice. This knee's on top. We're going to bring both those legs to us. If not, you can bring the top leg. Good. You can bring the top leg and the head. Or you can bring both legs. Couple more. more there. Don't arch your back on the way down. You're unfolding. Good. Add the arms, so remember that elbow's on the top. The other one's, closest one is on the bottom. Forearms trying to reach each other. Try that again. Open those shoulders. Creating good space between the ribs and the shoulder blades that tend to get pretty stuck together. Let's see if we can bring these together. And you know where to modify. If you can only move that top leg, that's okay. Good, last one. But I would ask you for sure, don't hold your breath. Good. Let's just press the arms back towards the floor. Press, feel the fronts of the arms open. Legs two, take them down. You're gonna press your low back towards the floor. Both legs and both arms. Push. Now you can add the head. Push your head into the floor. And relax. Press down again. Big breath in. Exhale. Push the feet down. Push the arms and hands down. And push the back of your head down. Give yourself a little double chin by tucking the chest. Oh yeah. Low back. Push down, push down. You got some shaking going on there? Yeah, me too. Shake it out. Good. Let's play a little. Roll the knees or lengthen the legs. This is a nice movement. Even if you don't have full hamstring extension here, you could do this sitting in a chair too. Extend one leg, extend the other leg. It's your quads that are helping. And let's take them both up. So you have two options here. You can reach your hands for your legs. You could hold for sure, if that helps. Good. You can pull the toes towards your forehead, or you can raise your head up off the floor and reach. Taking one leg down. Let's hold this leg here. Almost down to the mat. If that gives it too much stretch, you can bend that knee or pull it right to your chest. Bring the other leg up. And down. Both knees come back, head comes down. Release your neck if you need to. Good. Spread your arms out. You're gonna rock your knees from side to side. Good. There we go. A little bit of core work there for us. Oh, we're gonna lose the ponytail. Now, in case you were holding your breath when you were in that posture, I want you to come into just a comfortable laying position. Knees bent or straight is up to you. And we're going to finish here. I want you to notice what moves with your breath. Do you move only through your belly? Can you make your ribs move? Do your collarbones have to do all of it and your belly's not moving at all? For today, move it down further into your belly. So if you need some guidance, put your hands on your belly. And fill your hands full of breath. Good. If you notice, right here moves first, and nothing happens down here, this is your goal. You're trying to fill your belly first. It's like filling up the bottom of the bucket when you run water in a bucket. Fill the bottom first. Stay here with me. Just keep breathing. Starting to soften even more. Relax your jaw. Let your arms down, your legs down. If you're comfortable laying flat, let your legs go long. And take a few moments here before you get off your mat and head back to your day. Just visit with the stillness. And let any tension in the body that's still hanging around go. Take your hands and squeeze into fists. Curling up the arms. Inhale. And on the exhale, let them back down. Let's do the same thing in the toes and feet. You can squeeze or you can stretch. Turn them on a little bit. Push down. Big inhale and an exhale to let that go. And one more full body exhale. Let any layers go that are holding out. And before you get up off the floor, I'm going to ask you to set your intention for the rest of your day, or the rest of your week, or month, or year. Set your intention, set your course. And that may be just giving thanks and being grateful. That may be a particular project that deserves some of your attention and energy. Or that may be something that you are done with and you are letting it go. And leaving more space in your body and mind and energy. And as we bring ourselves back into moving state, starting with bending the knees or rolling your body to the side, take your time rolling up. Please don't just sit straight up. We just flattened all that out. There we go. Nice. So take some time, make sure you get some water in you. As always, it was an absolute joy to have you come and join me. This time we got to stay in the house where the fireplace is. It's very nice to see you all. If you can, pass this video on or pass the link I sent you on to somebody else. Maybe they want to join us. I will load some more links for you and we'll see you on the calendar. Okay, take good care. Bye now.